Welcome to this video. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel, press the like button, and activate the bell, and let us leave you with an enjoyable watch. The richest American presidents in the history of the United States. There are 44 presidents who ruled the United States. And being the president of a country the size of the United States is not an easy thing. This is a task that requires serious work. But in return these bosses will be paid wages for their efforts. The salary of the American president has progressed and increased 6 times in history. As follows: 1,789 meters equals $25,000. 1873 m equals $53,000. 1909 AD equals $75,000. 1949 AD equals $100,000. 1969 AD equals $200,000. 2001 equals $400. What we should know is that no matter how high the wage is, it is not only he who made the wealth of these chiefs, but some of them had his previous works that contributed to his wealth. And some of them received a rewarding inheritance from his family. The following list includes the richest American presidents in the history of the United States. 10. Bill Clinton, $50 million. He is the poorest U.S. president among the other presidents on this list. Clinton worked in political office, and although she might make a lot of money, it is not a requirement that she make her owners millionaires. The secret of Clinton's fortune is that he worked to collect it after his presidential term. The biographical book My Life contributed to a fortune of $15 million. Also, giving lectures is one of the most important factors in making money for him. In order to have the 42nd President of the United States to speak an address, we need at least $200,000 for his media appearance. And Clinton is considered one of the most charismatic. 9. Franklin Delano Roosevelt, $60 million. Roosevelt was the only president to have had a disability as a result of polio, and despite this, he was one of the most important figures in history. There were restrictions on taking pictures of him, especially as he was in a wheelchair. But a disability did not prevent him from completing his U.S. presidential term. The presidential mandate did not make him rich, as did the wealth that he inherited from his maternal grandfather, Warren Delano, which he gained from the opium and tea trade with China. Roosevelt inherited real estate and property in Georgia, Maine, and New York. 8. Herbert Hoover, $75 million. Hoover made his fortune by being a senior official in a gold mining company. Because of his experience in earth sciences, he became in charge of a gold mine at the age of 23. His reach extended to gold mines in Australia and Africa until Hoover found himself in an impressive financial position. He did not receive his presidential salary. He used to donate it to charities. 7. Lyndon Johnson, $98 million. Johnson made his fortune owning a television and radio station in Austin, Texas. And he was able to buy broadcast stations with his wife's inheritance. It is said that a deal he made with the Federal Communications Commission contributed to his financial gains in his media companies. He also owns a 6-square-kilometer farm in Texas. It is also believed that he had a hand in the assassination of John F. Kennedy. And that is why there is another mathematical value if taken into account. 6. James Madison, $101 million. He worked in real estate in Orange County, Virginia, and owned 20 square kilometers of state land. He also inherited his father's tobacco cultivation. Madison was one of the founding fathers of the United States, and among the things he offered was to allow capitalism to run the country. He benefited from this in tobacco cultivation, which brought him wealth. 5. Andrew Jackson, $119 million. Perhaps a large part of Jackson's fortune was from his marriage, and he was successful in earning money from cultivating the cotton crop on Hermitage Farm, which reached an area of 4 square kilometers, and he used to harvest the cotton crop 9 from slaves. With the success of the crop, Jackson was able to purchase more slavery, of which there were 300. 4. Teddy Roosevelt $125 million. Roosevelt came from a wealthy family, from which he inherited $1.3 million after his father's death. Roosevelt was famous for his love of nature, as he founded the Teddy Roosevelt National Park in North Dakota, which is considered one of the best in the country. Roosevelt lost some money as a result of nature conservation projects, but it has since grown to $125 million. 3. Thomas Jefferson $212 million. The author of the Declaration of Independence began building his wealth from the lands and dozens of slavery his father had left for him. Tobacco was the main crop on Jefferson's lands, but it was not as profitable as the rest of the tobacco crop. Jefferson was not very good at his financial management as he passed away and his debt was worth $100,000. It is noteworthy that the wealth of the presidents mentioned in the list is at their peak of profit. 2. George Washington, $525 million. He owned 32 square kilometers of land in Virginia, and his wife inherited large blocks of land from her father. And he worked on the land he owned in Washington, 300 slaves. It made a profit of $25,000, which was 2% of the federal budget at the time. When Washington died, his real estate assets were worth $530,000. 1. John F. Kennedy, $1 billion. Most of the wealth that Kennedy achieved was from the Kennedy Trust. Most of the family's wealth was built by his parents, Joe, from his work in the stock market, and from smuggling during the ban. Credit also goes to Kennedy's wife, who was the heir to an oil wealth. And thanks for watching the video. Goodbye.